Okay, now it would be incredibly annoying to find the slope of the tangent line by having to draw all of those secant lines we just talked about. But we're actually able to use a limit and what's called the difference quotient, which you may have seen before, to find the derivative. So we're told the derivative of f of x at point x0 is given by the limit as h goes to 0 of f of x0 plus h minus f of x0 all over h, okay? And you may have seen this part without the limit. This part is called the difference quotient. And all we're saying now is to make, this really gives you the slope of a secant line, and we're saying, and h is the difference between, the distance between the point you're trying to find the derivative and the other point that you're using to make the secant line, and we're saying let that distance go to 0. Okay, so we're taking a limit as h goes to 0. Okay, so we want to find f prime of 1 for f of x equals 5 minus x cubed. So we're going to find f prime of 1, which is going to be the limit as h goes to 0 of f of 1 plus h minus f of 1 all over h. Okay, so we're going to plug in 1 plus h for x and keep this limit with you. Keep writing limit as h goes to 0. 5 minus 1 plus h cubed minus f of 1. Well, that just is what we get when we plug in 1 to our function, so that's going to be 5 minus 1. We're going to get 4 all over h. Now, to evaluate this limit, we're going to have to do some algebra and expanding and stuff. So first we need to find out what 1 plus h cubed is, and we'll kind of do this off to the side. That's going to be 1 plus h times 1 plus h times 1 plus h. So if we FOIL 1 plus h times 1 plus h, we get 1 plus 2h, or plus h plus h plus h squared. So if we simplify that a little bit, we get 1 plus 2h plus h squared. Okay, now we need to distribute this. So we'll multiply both terms here by 1. So we'll have 1 plus h. Then we'll multiply both terms here by 2h. So plus 2h plus 2h squared. And then we'll multiply them each by h squared. So h squared plus h cubed. So what we're going to plug in here will be 1 plus 3h plus 3h squared plus h cubed. And we'll have to do this in parentheses since we're subtracting. All over h. So now we'll distribute that negative. Okay, now we want to simplify it as much as we can. And if you remember doing difference quotients, anything without an h should cancel out. So here we have 5 minus 1 minus 4. That all cancels out. And what we're left with is negative 3h minus 3h squared plus h cubed all over h. And we need to factor out an h from the numerator. So that would give us negative 3 minus 3h plus h squared. And now we can cancel that h. And now that that h is not in the denominator, we're actually able to take the limit. And then we can stop writing the limit. So to take the limit, we're just going to plug in 0 for h, which will just make the whole thing negative 3. So we found that our derivative, that f prime of 1, is equal to negative 3. And remember, that means the slope of the tangent line of 5 minus x cubed at 1 is equal to negative 3. So to write that out, kind of what it means the slope of the line tangent to f of x at x equals 1 is negative